Scope Podcast, the Buzzards of Fuzz, live video production, Doghouse, Atlanta, 5/17/18.
Welcome to the Scope Podcast, and this is a very special edition of the podcast. We are live. This is so cool. I never imagined this happening so soon. We've been doing this for a year, and we're live at Standard Electric Recorders with the Buzzards of Fuzz, drinking some delicious beer by my sponsors at Scofflaw Brewery. Bam! Thank you, Scofflaw, for providing these delicious beverages. Scofflaw always, y'all have had it a few times. You've been on the podcast a couple times, guys.
Most definitely.
This is, they always do a good job over there. Have you ever been to the brewery there?
I have not, but it's certainly not my first rodeo in
In the Scofflaw universe.
Yeah.
Well, this is really cool. So we're here at Standard Electric Recorders, Buzzards of Fuzz, really special thing they're doing June 1st. We're going to Fuzz Stock. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Fuzz Stock. And more importantly, leading up to that, involved in the show, your new EP. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to listen to a couple songs off of it. This is really cool. This is very exciting. It's kind of been a learning curve, the whole live thing. This has been a long time in the making. Andrew Riley of Doghouse Atlanta, me and him, we have been working closely together on this, trying to make the scene as big as it needs to be and as it should be. So this is going to be really cool. We're going to get into this right after the theme song. So eloquently recorded by my buddies here, Ben, Van, rest of the guys from the Buzzards of Fuzz. This is a Scope Podcast Live, guys. Thank you for being on here. Step into my world. I'm psyched. Let's go.
Now you're tuning in to the Scope Podcast.
Welcome back. We're here on the Scope Podcast. Guys, love that theme song that you recorded. That song, you sent it over to me. You actually gave it to me at your 529 show that you did that I came to. Right. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I put it in my computer at work, and it was just awesome. Because it sounded exactly like how we did it in the parking lot the last time you were on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just a couple guitars, and I scoped.
That was a wild night.
It was great. Y'all recorded that here at Standard Electric Recorders.
We did, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. You guys are so good to me. I don't deserve your love. No, and I love how we've formed this friendship and how, we're going about doing all this. It's so cool. And it's so cool to have y'all on as my first live guest on the Scope Podcast.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
And,
we're very excited to be here, man.
Honored to have
This
y'all
is a
on.
cool
Big thank you to
opportunity.
the opportunity, it's all around everybody. We're all excited to be here and be making something great.
Absolutely.
Big thank you to Andrew Riley of Doghouse Atlanta for videoing, mastermind, everything. We couldn't do this without him. Y'all check him out. If y'all need some videos, if you need anything, he's your guy. Doghouse Atlanta on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere.
Genius.
Video genius for sure. And he's dealing with all us who know nothing about any of this. We're just like, where do we put our mics? Where do we do this and that? That's awesome. So we're here. We're talking about Fuzz Stock, June 1st. We're going to get into that plenty a little later on. But first, I want to talk about this new EP y'all have out.
Yeah.
Hey, Hate City.
Yes, sir.
And we did a little rundown here because I knew we were going to need some pre-questions for it. Hate City. So I was reading about it, and what does that have to do with what Atlanta's called?
It's an interesting thing. So for people who don't know, Hate City is, Atlanta was the city too busy to hate. During the civil rights movement, it was our moniker, and it was to me it's always been kind of a weird passive thing. Like, well, we would hate you, but we're too busy, But I don't think that was the case. I think what they were really trying to do was in a time where people were really hateful to one another. They were trying to say, like, we don't have time for that shit here. We're trying to do something and make a community and be better. So I thought that was great. It's just an interesting name, you know. Philly's like the city of brotherly love, but we got Hate City, you know.
I've lived in Atlanta since 2012. Lived in Georgia my whole life. Never heard that. That was really cool to find that out. And how does Hate City, how does that relate to the music scene here in Atlanta?
Well, you know, a lot of times here, so Atlanta's a very busy scene, as you know. And out here, we've got 90 great shows on a Monday. We've got everybody going as hard as they can all the time. And Hate City is a term that musicians use a lot because they're like, no one was at my show last night. No one cares what I'm doing. Atlanta hates me. But it's not true. Atlanta's too busy to hate you. You've got to really cut through and show them what you want, you know, show them what you do before they're going to pay attention.
Well, I'm in radio here in Atlanta. I know all about the Hate City part. So last night during my show, I put up a meme of grilled cheese toast, right? And it had 1, 2, 3 picture.
I saw that.
You saw, you know, you can either cut it in half or like, you know, diagonal. People were commenting, who fucking cares? No one cares about, you know, how you cut grilled cheese. I'm like, is that all the thing you have to do in your life is just, you know, criticize a post I put up? It's Hate City, baby.
Hate City, man.
That's funny you saw that. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
And then some people were actually into it. And
If
actually,
you do it like number 2, you're a monster.
you are. You're crazy. You got to cut it diagonally. I mean, I don't cut my grilled cheese. I've not had a grilled cheese in years, so.
I mean,
Listen
my
out, man.
grandmother would cut my sandwiches diagonally, man. So I'm standing by that.
What kind of sandwich were you? Grilled cheese, peanut butter and jelly, maybe peanut butter and banana?
I would definitely do a grilled cheese. I'd also get into like a little almond butter banana sandwiches.
Ooh,
Used to be
bougie.
Yeah, that was my bougie, out of money, at work, lunch.
Is that a peanut butter banana sandwich? It's almond butter. I don't get that peanut butter.
Yeah,
I go to the organic food section for the almond butter.
I want a real nut, not just some fake legume.
No, so it's so funny what you're saying, man, about how there are so many shows in Atlanta in a night. You can literally go on any venue here in Atlanta on any given week. Someone's playing at the Earl, someone's playing at Smith's Old Bar, someone's playing at Star Bar.
Absolutely.
And not every place you go is going to have an amazing crowd. Like, I'm sure y'all have had plenty of times where you played in front of a crowd that was just the bands.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but it
Yeah, I mean,
it's definitely
you've had that time. You've had that experience.
There's
Sure.
a weird enjoyment I get from that. I don't know what it is. I love playing a full room, but I've definitely really enjoyed playing to the other bands too, because you're just there to support each other. You know?
Why make this song? Why make Hate City? Why show much tongue twisted? Why show so much love to a city?
Well, it's our home, you know. Atlanta's a big part of who we are. We're desert rockers, which is odd in Atlanta, but this is where our roots are, and the scene's treated us very well. We have a lot of friends here. I love it. I, like you mentioned, there's so much going on. I often go to the Earl and then walk across the street to 529 and, you know, maybe down to Union. You just never know. There's always something cool, and I just follow my ears.
Are y'all constantly meeting new bands here in Atlanta?
Absolutely.
Yeah, constantly. And people are always reaching out to us from other cities, too. I mean, in the last couple of days, we've, like, fielded so many requests for different shows.
For, like, bills and all that?
Yeah, and also, you know, when we get those in, we always try to recommend different bands. We have a running list of bands we know. It's like the document. I just sort of pop that up and, you know, run through. We try to listen to every inquiry and all that stuff, because that's what I'm hoping to get back when we're booking to go out on the road is if someone can't do a gig, or, you know, I would really appreciate it if they could return the favor and maybe recommend a few people.
What makes the scenes here in Atlanta? I mean, I'm sure you've been to other places, seen the music scenes in other cities,
Absolutely.
other towns. What makes Atlanta different than these other places?
There's a lot. We run through different towns, and we always have a blast. We rarely run into a bad show or a bad scene. But I will say that here it's so competitive, and everybody has to work so hard that there's a certain level you have to be on before people pay attention to you here. And that's not necessarily the case everywhere. Atlanta bands work really hard, and I'm sure bands everywhere work really, really hard. But when we go out of town, people go, "Whoa, hey, thanks for bringing that through," you know? And it's a weird spark that the city has that you pick up, and you take it on with you anywhere you go. So, you know, if we're in town A, we're bringing Atlanta with us, you know? And I think that's what makes it different.
You said the scene here is competitive. Bands are definitely working very hard, and I've seen that firsthand. But it's not a negative type of competitive.
Not at all. No.
It's not like everyone's trying to screw each other over. It's nothing like that.
No, we're really all like leapfrog is probably the wrong term, but we're really all trying to like put a hand out, and bring the other people up with us. And it's sort of that ladder. It's like we're reaching this way, but we're also reaching to the bottom because that's where we came from.
Yeah.
So we're trying to go both ways, for lack of a better term.
Now we're going to get into Hey Hate City and the song off your EP here in a minute. We've got a couple more things to talk about. What was the pressure of writing a song that encompasses your love for a city like this?
That was a big deal. To me, it's kind of an anthem. I mean, really, we wanted to do something where, we combined what we do with where we are. And I think the best bands in history have kind of observed what's happening around them and pushed it, and anything that's good for Atlanta is good for us, and we want to be good for Atlanta too.
But there had to be a lot of pressure in it when you're trying to write a song, and writing a song, I'm sure, is not easy. I've never done it, but I can only imagine how much work goes into it. Trying to put your passion, your love for something like the Atlanta rock scene and what Atlanta's given to you, that had to be like, a big thing, a big deal.
Sure, yeah. I wasn't necessarily easy, but it did roll off our tongues, and I will say that I hope we did it justice.
What do you hope people get out of this song that listen to it?
I hope they dance.
Yeah, I hope that they get some rock and roll love out of it, and they kind of feel invigorated for not only their city, but for the music scene. I mean, that's why we do it, is to share our excitement, share our own sort of feelings and perspectives.
Hope they get kind of fuzzy, right?
Yeah, we're hoping that they get real fuzzy with it.
A great songwriter is someone who a listener will listen to the song and it strikes an emotion, it strikes a feeling in them. Would you agree that's what a good song does?
Absolutely.
Definitely, yeah. It's been my goal as a songwriter for years.
You want to evoke an emotion.
Whether or not I've accomplished that, I think we're getting closer every day.
And it's a constant grind, right?
Absolutely.
That's how I do it on the radio. Like, every day is a constant grind to connect with, people that I can't see. When you're on stage at a show, you can see everyone you're singing to. When I'm on the radio, every day is a struggle to try to make a connection with somebody who I can't see. I don't know what they're doing.
Sure.
I don't know if they're sitting on their couch or if they're in their car. Maybe they're having sex. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just hoping whatever they're listening to, whatever they're hearing me say, or music I'm playing on the radio, I'm hoping it's striking a feeling, an emotion with them.
Absolutely.
Maybe they laugh at something I say. Maybe they learn something about a song they didn't know before.
It makes them feel better about their day, and that's really the goal here. Is people need an escape, and I'm happy to provide that. I've relied on that my whole life, and that's what's uplifted me, and I just kind of want to give that back.
That's why you guys are awesome. That's
Thanks,
why you guys are going far. Now, it's really cool. Something really cool you did on this EP. You basically linked two songs together on the same track.
We did.
And it's separated by just a breath. And I spent all day listening to this song, trying to catch the separation between the two. I kept listening to it on repeat, and I missed it the first few times, and then
because it's just a... And then other times it's a...
Why put two songs in the same track?
It kind of seemed like something Zeppelin would do. I think, that was how we rationalized it in the end. Initially, we didn't have a whole lot of time to make this EP. We had less than a week. We recorded it. It was recorded on Friday the 13th. If anything went wrong, it wasn't going to happen.
With Chris Sampson, by the way.
Chris Sampson, absolutely
just
great.
Saved us
in
every possible way. Is amazing.
And Damon Moon of Standard Electric Recorders mastered it. So it was a great... We grabbed some great people to work on this. But we had a very short time period to make it, and it just kind of came together that way, and really. But in any case, we rehearsed these songs together back to back because it was like, here's the ideas, let's go, let's work it. So we would have a breath in between them where we blasted through one and then blasted through another, and like, let's get it right. And it just felt right, you know. It felt like they belonged together. And Ben and I had a conversation about, you know, at some point someone might ask us to split these up because they're two different tracks, and we decided we're not going to do it. So they live together even though they're two different songs.
And the messages are separate, but because the way you intertwined them, it's such a flow. They flow so well.
Thank you. I'm glad you caught that. We were trying to combine our city with the desert. Mm-hmm. You know, we're trying to bring where we're from with what we feel.
And that is this title of this second track on the same song. I think I hit my head on a cactus.
Yes, sir.
What the hell does that mean? That's some fuzzy stuff right there.
You know, we've been blessed by the desert. It was a way. It's a mantra. It's a thing you say to yourself, and really, there was this spark out in the desert with all these bands that influenced us, and you know, I don't know what sparked them, but it could have been riding mini bikes and throwing hard candy and hitting your head on a cactus and coming back and standing up too soon after you partied. You know, it could be all of that. It's just a little prayer, a little thought.
Is that what it means? You say in your when you describe the song, it's a thank you to the desert.
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
Absolutely.
It's some trippy stuff.
Thanks for existing.
Yeah.
It's like an episode of Entourage. Like when I think of the desert and y'all talking about that and your information about the song, I go back to the Entourage episode where they go out to Joshua Tree and they trip on shrooms.
That's where all this started. Was
love Joshua Tree. It's so incredibly beautiful.
Have you been?
Yes. Yeah.
And you've been in the desert.
I have made sort of my pilgrimage out there because that's. When I was growing up, I would call it that, literally. You know, people have certain pilgrimages to wherever. I mean, I've seen deserts all over the world. I've gone to the Negev in Israel all the way to, Arches in Utah and all over Arizona and through New Mexico and stuff and Nevada and
you haven't taken me to
Joshua
any of this?
Tree. Hey, I'm taking you next. You coming with me?
I want to go to Joshua Tree.
We're all going. I mean, it's another world. It really is, and it's no surprise once you go out there why all of these bands that are out there are able to create what they created, because there's just there's an energy from the desert that's there, and you feel it, and it's something that's stuck with me my entire life. And that was the first time I got to see it was all of these different deserts was with my cousin, and it was a real gift that he gave me. He moved out to California, and we rode out and did this long road trip and slept on the side of the highway in the middle of the desert in different places, and it was this real gift from him. And that's sort of the same, it goes back to the meaning of this song, is that the desert sort of has really given us a lot in terms of our ways of being.
I think that's cool when you can do that, because there are majority of people that live in Georgia, Atlanta, that are from here. They're never going to go to the desert. They're never going to be able to experience the kind of just poetry you just described of a feeling that you get in a place like that. You're alone. It's vast. The desert is a vast place. That's what kind of you put into desert rock. You're alone. It's vast. It's something you won't experience. So bringing that to a place like Atlanta is awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, man. I totally agree.
Did that just say something like totally out of the blue?
No. I think it was rather profound. Yeah, I think you hit it on the head with the cactus.
Yeah.
I think you nailed
play
it.
on the song. I love that. Which was there any song on the EP that just gave you trouble, that you just had a hard time writing? Because I know there are 2 more songs on the EP.
Mm-hmm. There are. No, this one was like butter. It just kind of flowed out of us. We had something we needed to do, and we had this message, and it just came. This is probably one of the easiest ones we've ever done.
I'm sure it's not this easy of a process every time.
No.
No, hardly ever.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. There is a certain immediacy about this one. Yeah, I mean, one of the tunes, Moonshadow Drive, literally was like,
That's a good song.
it just kind of drove me out of bed. That happens to me often. I'll get a song idea, and to Van too, I know, where we're just sort of driven to write, and I want to say, it's like circa 2 in the morning, and I was like, I'm not gonna sleep, and I know that, and I'm laying down and I'm staring at a ceiling fan. Like, I might as well just get up and start playing something. And it was for a friend who had passed, and it was just very, all immediate and sudden. I guess I just finally had time to process, and it was that late at night when everything had finally died down from the day that I could think about things again, and it just all came rushing back.
Well, the thing about being a band, making music, you can make the best song in the world, right? But unless you have people like Standard Electric Recorders to help you make it, master it, and now how key were they in helping get the CP done?
Well, they did a lot of work. I'll say we were initially supposed to record the entire thing here. We recorded Like a Drug here, which is the Desert Sessions cover that's on it, with Sasha from Sash the Bash. Then, unfortunately, Damon was deathly sick. I mean, he got super ill, and it was on Friday the 13th.
Pretty worried on him.
We were worried about him. Like, even though we had a record to get out, he was like, I'll come in and do it. And I'm like, no, brother. We'll figure it out. And so we hit up Chris Sampson, who's worked with the Coat Hangers and B-52s and a ton of other great bands. And he made himself very available to us on short notice. We went and recorded the other 3 tracks there. Then we brought them all back over here to Damon to master. And he came in the next day. He was still super ill, but he powered through and made it happen for us.
He's a sick dude.
He saved us. I mean, they both saved us. If we didn't have these kind of people around us, this record wouldn't have happened. And I'm so thankful to them both, for Samson Sound and Standard Electric Recorders, for making this happen, because we would have been up a creek.
And that's what makes the Atlanta scene so great. It's not just the bands that are playing out there. It's places like this that are, letting you record. And you can go to bad recorders. There are bad studios out there to record that are going to screw you over or do this. It's places like this that make it what it is.
That's true. Yeah.
Good. Like Damon was giving me the tour when we first got in here. And, this is a house. This is, it makes you feel at home when you come in.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to walk in the kitchen and somebody's making a homemade meal and all that.
Well, that's later.
Yeah. Dinner about to be served. I mean, this is so cool. It's like getting into this, starting this podcast and all that, and just delving into the music scene here in Atlanta. There's a lot that people don't get to see behind the scenes, and that's why it's so cool doing stuff like this, because people can get behind the scenes. People do get to know. Like, you see bigger bands like, Foo Fighters just came through. You're not going to get, every day behind the scenes with them,
By the way, our bros, the Howling Tongues, got to open up for Bon Jovi, and I was super stoked to see you announcing that.
Yeah,
That's
man,
fantastic.
Yeah, that was fun. Getting in the round at a sold out Phillips Arena, whew, that was a lot of people. Like the Howling Tongues, they all got. It felt great. The Howling Tongues, they got to get up there as a band together. They were on stage, so they had people to play off. When they told me, all right, Jackson, go up there and do your thing, I had 2 minutes on stage by myself in front of a sold-out crowd there. There's people all around me in a circle. And I'm just like, in my head, when I'm walking up, I'm like, shit, that's a lot of people. So I said the first thing that came to my mind, this is going to be fun. And it just ran with it, man. I felt like I blacked out because I got off stage and Live Nation people were like, you did such a fantastic job. I was like, I don't even remember it. But it was fun. No, it's
Goes by like that, man.
Yeah.
It all goes by like that.
Yeah, it's just a moment in time, and then it's over, and you're like...
Yeah, you spend so long prepping for it. Like, I remember like the 10 minutes before I went on stage, I was like nervous. I was going over what I was going to say in my head. Mm-hmm. And then like it was over in a flash.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
I'm sure that's how a show can feel
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah.
Like, you
Almost.
spend so long practicing for it, and then it's just over like
There's
that.
so much effort that goes into something, especially if you're running it.
Yeah.
And but anybody's involvement in something like that, when you're doing a production, if you're doing it right, it takes a lot of thought and it takes a lot of care. And you get up there and you hope you have a full room like you did, and you hope you can bring it to them and make them have a great night and something that they'll remember forever.
Sure.
I mean, I get that because I'll do a 5-hour radio show live, and it feels like it goes by in 30 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm feeling it, if I'm just having a great show, energy, I'm getting a lot of callers, a lot of interaction. Yeah, it can go by in a flash.
You're in the zone. You're doing what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do.
Entertainment business. It's
It's entertainment.
it's entertainment. People don't get it. I mean, it can be amazing sometimes, but it can be a real bitch sometimes too. It can bite you in the
Sure,
ass.
it can be a real hate city, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real hate city. Well, that's awesome. Well, we're gonna get. Well, before we do that, I'm sorry. Where can people go get this new EP?
They need to show up to this show.
Show up to the show.
We made 20 copies of this record. They're hand-lathed vinyl. A gentleman actually sat down, held a needle to wax.
Ooh, similar to one on the board over there,
that was our last-
actually.
you hosted that
Wow.
one too
It's
for
in there.
Flowers. That's sold out. There's 20 copies of this.
That one's Damon's.
If you want to get a copy, you can do. There were 10 with pre-sales
Yeah.
for Fuzz stock. There's 10 that will be released day of at the show. We may repress it, but it won't be numbered vinyl. It won't have the same artwork. It won't be what you can get now. This is the Golden Child.
Golden Child, June 1st. Fuzzstock. Come get your limited edition vinyl EP of Hey Hate City. We're going to get into talking about Fuzzstock right after this. We're going to play the track right now, Hey Hate City, and I think I hit my head on a cat. I think I hit my head. I can't even say it. It's such a weird title. It's such a strange title. So these are two songs on the same track, Hey Hate City, and I think I hit my head on a cactus. Buzzards of Fuzz on the Scope Podcast Live. Let's get into it.
I'm gonna
That was Hey Hate City, and I think I hit my head on a cactus, all on the same track. Buzzards of Fuzz here on the Scope Podcast Live. Doghouse Atlanta, Andrew Riley making all this happen. We're here at Standard Electric Recorders, drinking some delicious Scofflaw beer. Guys, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
I love that y'all put that on the same track. If you haven't, where can they go on? Can they go and listen to the tracks online?
They will be available everywhere digitally 6/1.
6/1, June 1st. Go and listen and see if you can find the point where the songs transition, where it goes from Hey Hate City to I think I hit my head on a cactus. It took me like 5-6 times, and I'm a music guy. I listen to music for a living, basically. I mean, and it took me a while to catch it, but it was so seamless. It was so fluid.
Thank you.
You guys did such a good job with that.
I think Chuck had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
His drum fill there, or not fill, I guess drum intro, is just such a cool.
Oh, it's pretty raw.
Bonham-esque, like, we heard him do that. You can hear Ben in the background go, yeah! Like, if you listen carefully, you'll hear him scream, because we were all just like,
first
oh!
time we did it, I did that yell, and I scared the living piss out of everyone around me.
Chuck stopped playing.
They're all like, "Are you okay, man?" I was like, "Oh, I was just excited." And then Chris was behind the board in the other room. He's like, "Do that again!" And they're like, "Yeah, we got you." And they're just like, "Yeah, that's awesome. We just were ready for it." It just felt like the right thing in that.
I mean, people don't get to see what the process is of making that music. It's so much fun. It's so energetic, and I've seen music being made live before. It's an experience. Yeah. It's an experience to watch how you go about it.
It's a private thing for us, I think, but it's something we document in ways. Mm-hmm. But it's a moment in time. It's a snapshot. It's what we were doing that day, but it lives forever, so do it right.
June 1st, Star Bar, Fuzz Stock. Come get your limited edition vinyl copy of Hey Hate City, the new EP from Buzzards of Fuzz. And then we got to talk about this. This is going to be insane. I am so excited for this. Like I said, Star Bar, June 1st, 3 days before my birthday.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
So it's your birthday party, too?
It's my birthday party, too. Come out and celebrate.
It's Jackson's birthday. You better get out there.
June 4th is my birthday, so yeah. I'm celebrating that weekend. I'm going out the next night and celebrate. But we'll have to do a little...
We'll be celebrating that night, man. Now that we know.
I don't want to steal your thing.
Dude, it's our thing.
Maybe y'all can sing me a little happy birthday song.
Yeah, we can. They say it's your birthday! We got you.
Have a good time.
This is awesome. And the lineup for this is absolutely crazy. So we got you guys, Buzzards of Fuzz, Flashback Flash.
Yeah.
Oh no, Phantom In after y'all.
Yep.
Phantom In, and then Flashback Flash, and then Twin Criminal.
Yeah, it's the other way around. So Twin Criminals
is opening. Yeah, sorry. So I was going back.
Yeah,
yes.
You got it.
Going from the headliner down. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. Twin Criminal opening up, and then Flashback Flash, then Phantom In, who was recently Bellbreakers, but that was an AC/DC cover band, and they
that's Ballbreakers. They're homies too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're a great AC/DC tribute band.
Yeah.
But I think they were worried it was a little close.
It was a little close,
It was Ball versus Bells.
Yeah.
And Phantom In, I mean, it was a seamless change they made. That's
they're such a killer band.
Oh, so great.
Rose by any name.
The guitarists, and they're amazing. And then, of course, y'all headlining. How did that go about putting that bill together? Because that's insane.
I will tell you, this is the first time we've done a festival ourselves.
Right.
This is the first time, rather than... We're not working with any production companies. We're not working with anybody. This is us. This was our dream. We found 4 desert bands in Atlanta that we wanted to share this night with. And it is going to be a legendary, epic night. And you know all the craziness we've got planned. These people are going... if I wasn't involved in this, I would be there. Shut up and take my money. This is the best night of desert rock, of fuzz rock, of rock and roll. This is the night, the move for 2018. And it's young. We're only halfway through the year, and this is the one you want to be at. I promise you.
Oh, I can guarantee that flat out. I mean, and the fact that y'all asked me to MC host this is such an honor for me, and I'm gonna, you know me, I'm gonna bring it.
Oh, I know.
And
I know exactly how this night's gonna go. I have no doubt.
It's gonna get. I'm gonna just tell you right now. If you're watching, if you're on the fence of whether to pay, I mean, it's how much is a ticket to this thing?
$15.
$15. That is a still.
It's
It's
$1 per
basically your
member.
burger and your beer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
or-
the things we have planned for this and the way the night's going to go, whew,
I can't wait.
don't drive. Don't drive.
No, you're gonna want to Uber or Lyft there. It's
or pay someone to be the DD.
yeah.
But then they'll come back to you at the end of the night saying, okay, if I DD for that, I'm going to need a little bit more money. That's it's going to be saying, and cool, but why at Star Bar? Why have it at Star Bar?
Star Bar was the place. They, we love playing at Star Bar. They're always really kind to us. They always help us. We love a lot of places in Atlanta. But it just seemed like we could put on this show the best that we could do it in this particular area. And, their stage is awesome. Their sound is awesome. Something that I haven't mentioned yet and is going to be announced shortly. You're familiar with Hot Ram?
Yes.
Mr. Billy Conkle of Hot Ram is going to be the DJ of the night. So
Really?
when we're not
Spinning
playing
some
and
real
you're
vinyl.
not going to be
Yeah.
spinning some real vinyl, some real desert vinyl. Asha is going to be running sound for us. She's incredible. The bartenders are going to kill it. Everybody that's in that house that night is going to have a great experience because everybody that's working there that night wants you to have a great experience.
Hot Ram, also a great band here in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Check them out.
Yeah.
They bring it. And Billy's just one of the nicest guys,
And
Absolutely.
Asha's band is killer. If you haven't heard of that,
I
one,
haven't.
It's called
Drug Cult
yeah.
Tradition.
I haven't.
Fantastic band.
Right on.
We're
Hey.
also going to be having Sasha, who sang on
Mhm.
that Desert Sessions cover. She's going to be making a guest appearance and singing that with
Yeah, a
us.
little guest appearance from Sash the
Yeah.
Bash.
See, this is gonna be. I love this because most MCing. Y'all were the first band I ever MC'd for.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. So
No way.
the way it worked was one time I started the podcast. I went to 529 where the Ides were playing, the Ides of June.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, would you want to introduce us? So I just went up and said, hey, I'm Jackson from Rock 100.5, host of the Scope podcast. These are my buddies here, Ides of June, bam. But I didn't consider that MCing or, doing something. And then I can't remember if it was Ben or Van, y'all got in touch with me about a show you were playing with Bast.
Oh,
And,
yeah. That was the release
that was
for
the release.
Flowers.
Yeah, because
Sit on
y'all
board, yeah.
debuted that song on the podcast. You never gave me any flowers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So y'all asked me to MC. Y'all were the first band I ever MC'd for here in Atlanta.
Well, we wouldn't have known it. You
And
did a
it-
fantastic job.
In the Atlanta room at Smith's Old Bar.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. We
That
had a
was fun.
bottle of
Cool.
champagne we passed around
Yeah.
with the room.
Brittany
and-
Burdett helped us set
Yeah.
up that
Oh,
one,
yeah.
man.
So how funny is it that y'all were the first band I ever MC'd for, and y'all were the first band that we're doing the live podcast with?
Well, I mean,
Things
it just
work out
kinda
for a
works out
reason.
that way.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, people watching right now, they're not going to get to see, they see radio guy interviewing a band, We're so much more than that. We're not just, I'm the radio guy, your band, or vice versa. We're the band, he's just the guy who, asks us questions. We're friends.
Most definitely, yeah.
We talk on a regular
Yeah.
basis. And
Absolutely.
we still haven't gone to get our beers yet, which, screw y'all
I mean, I
on.
don't know what you think
Hey,
this is.
cheers,
but-
cheers, guys.
Cheers. Cheers. man. Yeah,
Thanks,
outside
Scofflaw.
of the- yeah.
No, and this is just, so this is a little different. Like, usually I go up and I'll talk and then I'll introduce the band. This, I don't want to, divulge too many secrets or,
Sure.
what's going to go down. But this is going to be an event.
It's gonna be a night that you may not remember, but you wish you did.
I will say I got a few surprises up my sleeves.
Yeah, I think we got surprises
But,
from each other even
yeah.
for this
Yeah.
one. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
good.
a really cool night, and you've got games and raffles planned, and audience participation, and the DJ with great vinyl, and DJ Ho Tram is what he's going by. That
Ho
night.
Tram.
Yeah, not Hot Ram, Ho Tram.
Ho Tram.
So,
I love that.
yeah, oh, it's great, man. Billy's great. This whole night is stacked with people who appreciate and understand what we're doing and are doing the same. And there's a lot of love. It may be called Hate City, Hate City,
man.
but it's a lot of love, man.
It's all about love. And like Phantom Man is releasing a single for it.
That's right. Yeah, they're
Um,
dropping a single that night too.
Flashback Flash is coming back from out of town, and so are we. We're playing out of town right before it.
Right.
So it's sort of a homecoming show for both of them. Twin Criminal stuff is like just ridiculous.
man.
I want to have them on the
Way, man.
podcast before the show if I can get them
I'll
on.
get you there.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a good band.
they're so good, dude.
They're
man.
really cool.
Everybody on this night is just
It's
bringing it so hard that we're gonna have to work.
It's cool because all these musicians are connected. Like they're connected to the jazz scene. We met up on this past Monday night to just have a meeting of the minds
Yeah, I saw that
between all the
picture. That was
band
cool.
leaders and stuff, and it was just so amazing how many people run in so many different circles. And I know that I do typically, but just to hear it from everyone else, it's all of the scenes are connected. We just haven't done maybe the best job of connecting them all yet, so this is that opportunity.
Man had to cover it up with a cough.
Yeah.
On our camera, right?
I
We
mean,
can see
this
you.
helps also connecting all of it. People like Scofflaw and Monday
Yeah.
Night Brewing and all those
Yeah.
guys, man.
Yeah,
All of
Scofflaw,
our
they've just
local
been amazing
brewers.
sponsors of the podcast and all that and keeping this going. And one thing I love about Flashback Flash, too, we'll run through all the bands. Like Phantom Man, Alan is just an amazing person, great guitarist.
Oh, killer.
Yeah, and then Flashback Flash, I've had them on twice, the podcast, and I've emceed for them. Casey is one of the most flamboyant bass guitarists you'll ever find.
Oh, dude, he's amazing.
Yeah, but he's not a regular bass player. Like, he's in there. He's grinding. He's
Dude,
moving
that guy
around.
literally, not just like some people talk about, like they bleed on stage. Like, he
Look at his
cut
guitar, there's
he
blood
cut
on
his
it.
head so hard
we were
on
blood
one
brothers,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
We always,
But no, he's bleeding
we always
for
bleed
it.
on stage. I will say every
Yeah.
band on this bill was chosen for a
Blood
very
Very Night.
deliberate reason. And they're all there because they're supposed to be there.
Because this is going to make for
A night that you
A
don't
night
want
you
to
don't wanna-
miss.
this is going to be different from other shows here in Atlanta. Like, you go to a show and you see just bands that wanted to be on a bill together. There was like science behind this. Like, if you go on and you listen to each one of these bands before the show, like it just transitions.
Science?
There's a science to it.
There's
Like,
a weird science, yeah.
Yeah.
It really boils down to, this is something that we did put on ourselves, and it's not something that anybody, cobbled together. Hey, this is a quick cash grab. This is a night of bands that we enjoy watching. And we've got a lot of bands that we love in this city, but we felt like this was the right bill to release this record.
and you're not doing this. You're not putting on this show because you want to make as much money as possible. You want to trick people into buying a ticket to come see you. This is something you're passionate about. This is I know you guys. I know you very well. You could care less about the money. Yeah, making money as a band is great, but the experience you're giving people is more important.
I mean, if we were in it for the money, I think we would have quit about 15 years ago. Yeah, it's not that money is a bad word, and certainly we want to get paid for it, and I think that there's an extreme value for what we do, for the amount of time that we put into production, everything. I mean, you wouldn't go and like challenge someone at Target for your $20 shirt, right? But at the same time, no one's aware of the production that's being put in. But we do try really hard to do all those things. But in creating that value comes a sacrifice, and that's to create really good art, and not just like great art that other people can experience just on a digital format or on a vinyl. We want to bring that live to people, because sharing these moments with people is important. Really bringing them in to what we've built, which is why we put together this bill. It took some time to put it together, and
There was a lot of work that went into this one, even just booking it, even every step of the way on this one was work. And it was climbing a mountain, and at the end going, we did it, and we're not even there yet. We haven't even played the show, but Ben and I have been looking at each other going, yeah, We did it.
We
We
felt
did
a
it.
little bit
We-
like Atlas, just rolling the boulder up the
Yeah.
hill every day, and
'Cause-
then going like, "Why are we rolling this boulder up the hill?" Oh yeah, that's why, because we're trying to do it.
Because we were
Oh,
trying
Not
to make
just
all
for
this
us, it's
happen.
for everyone
And
there
that's-
to share a moment with people.
And that's the thing about the entertainment industry, whether it's y'all, like people come see your show and they'll see you at Star Bar or wherever you are, and they just see music. They just think you came there, you rehearsed a couple times, and you're there playing.
Sure.
Or me on the radio, like they'll hear me in a 5-hour show, and they'll just hear me spouting about stories or what's going on in rock music, and they'll just hear, man, he just must be talking out of his ass. People don't get to see the work that goes into it.
It's funny.
Yeah.
'Cause we were planning all this while we were opening for Dick Dale, guitar legend Dick Dale.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely a hero of ours. He created surf rock, and desert rock is most definitely a descendant of surf rock. People like the Minutemen or Yawning Man, who we also opened for, they probably wouldn't have done what they did without Dick Dale. We had an amazing show with him at the Earl, and afterwards, sold out room. We've got people coming to the merch table. Had a number of people going, "Where are you guys from?" I'm like, "I live 8 minutes that way. Please support your local scene. Please come out and hang out with us." We've been doing this a while, 4 years now, and we're right where we need to be. We just need you to party with us.
I'll tell you this right now. You'll go see a lot of commercially big bands that, make a lot of money. They tour the world. Some of them, not as good as what we have here in Atlanta that you can see on any given night during the week at a local venue here. People that I'm lucky enough to call my friends, not just people that play music here in Atlanta. I consider you two very good friends of mine, very good friends of the podcast.
Oh, yeah, man.
Most
Dan.
definitely, brother.
Ben. I was standing with
Yeah, I
hugging.
think we gotta bring it in. Yeah.
I love you
We got
guys.
scoped. Love
Yeah.
you too, brother.
We're scoped for the third
Another
time.
one for first, man. Yeah.
June 1st at Star Bar, you can catch Opening Up, Twin Criminal,
Absolutely.
Flashback Flash, Phantom In, all buddies of mine, and my buddies here headlining vinyl release party for their new EP, Buzzards of Fuzz. Love you guys. Thank you for being on the
Thank you,
first ever Scoped Podcast Live. This was so much fun.
So much
This
fun.
was so much fun.
Cheers, y'all.
We were
Cheers.
live,
Thanks for hanging with us.
but guys, I got one thing.
Yeah.
And it sucks. We didn't do the 20 questions game now on since we were live, but we'll do that next time. But could you do one thing for me next time you come on my podcast?
Anything.
Would you wear something tight?